Gentlemen, this afternoon we're dispatching 4 Thunderbolts led by Major Manning to attack Cologne-Ostheim Airfield. Weather is overcast at medium altitude with rain and possible ground covering fog. Good luck.
Chieftain, taking off.
Welcome back aboard my P-47 Thunderbolt. I kinda need to scramble to configure for takeoff because I am not leading the mission today. So, guy in front of me is gone. Let's go. Gonna use boosted power on takeoff today because we're carrying a pair of 1,000-pound bombs. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute once we're in the air.
This is flight. Chieftain, airborne. Over.
Airborne indeed.
Proceed with your mission.
Gear can come up, flaps can come up. We've got a decent amount of speed. Out of boosted power. Turbo can come off. I will shut the cowl flaps. And then look over the nose and make sure I'm not about to ram into someone in front of me is probably a good idea. Close down the intercooler to neutral. Things I couldn't do before takeoff because I didn't have time. Close down the oil cooler to 50%. And then I think we're pretty much configured. If I read the briefing correctly, I should be element lead today, so I'll form up on flight leads right. Now, the astute among you might have noticed a little change in equipment today, and that is that if we look around, well, I can see behind me, because for the first time, somewhat surprisingly, I've been given a bubble top P-47 today. I just take whatever the mission gives me, and we've had D-22 Razorback so far, so that's just the way it is, I suppose. Now, the mission for today, he seems to be forming up on leads right. Maybe I'll just hang back and see what the rest of the formation does. Mission for today is to attack Cologne-Ostheim Airfield. We've been to the city of Cologne before. The airfield is just to the east of the city, so it should be fairly familiar terrain, except we're visiting it in daylight hours this time. We were kind of there right at the crack of dawn previously. The weather is not quite as crappy as it's been on some previous missions. The cloud ceiling's a little higher. We should fly a little higher on our way into the target, hopefully not have so many losses to flak like we've had before. So we'll have to see about that. Once again, I think I'm going to stay a little bit outside the formation until everyone else is in position, because he does seem to be positioned to the right of lead, so maybe he's actually element lead and I'm full of it. We'll see. Either way, there shouldn't be too much additional fuss in getting formed up and heading for the target. I don't think I have too much to add until we get there. Welcome back. We're currently passing over the city of Cologne. Our target is that airfield just under the nose there. So we're closing in on it quite rapidly. I presume lead will give the order for us to go in and attack fairly soon. No flak coming up from the city yet, which is a good thing. Okay, I guess we're dropping down. It turned out my position in formation was the lead's wingman, not element lead, and just as I say that, up comes the flak. Who's this? Those look like Thunderbolts. I am not going to rigidly hold formation when we've got these, when we've got all this fire coming up at us. That seems unwise. Really quite a lot of it as well.
Patrol for ground targets.
Alright, patrol for ground targets on your own. I will take that as an excuse to completely ignore the formation. We will push it up to max continuous power. Whoa, okay. That came pretty close. But once we're away from the city, we should avoid the worst of that. So let's have a look down at the field. We have numerous planes parked out in the There are fighters lifting off from that field. Well, that's a very obvious thing to go after. Tell you what I'll do.
I'm on fire, bailing out.
I'll drop my bombs as we go in on these static aircraft here. I won't fuss around too much because we need to deal with these things. And I will go after this airplane here. That looks like a 109 to me. Okay, boosted power, we will go. That's not a pilot bailing out, is it? No. Oh, shit! I think I've been hit by flak. Unless another fighter lifted behind me. Okay, in that case, disengage. Back to max continuous power. And head for friendly lines. We'll avoid the city, though. Oh, bugger, we're badly damaged. Ow! I'm on fire! Alright, it's time to bail out. Oh, let's try not to get clipped by an airplane as it goes down. My parachute burned up! Or did it? No, I think it's just not appearing due to a bug. Okay, well, we'll ignore that. Okay, well, I think there's pretty much no question of on the question of capture, since we're going to be landing right next to a German airfield. I'm kind of annoyed that my parachute isn't appearing here. That's another irritating sort of pop-out bug that seems to have characterized this career. But in any case, we're not very far off the ground here. Well, to be honest, flying straight and level over an enemy airfield was maybe not the wisest thing I could have done. Although it's possible that was a German fighter I never saw. I only thought I saw the two, and I should have been much faster than any others that were lifting, but you never know. Anyway, into trees we go. And onto the ground. Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to probably do the old handy hawk in just a moment here, because the chances of evading capture seem quite minimal, but we'll see about that in the debriefing. Okay, welcome to the debriefing. Time to find out whether we were captured, which seems very probable to me, but in any case, proceed to combat report. Didn't shoot anything down because I was schwacked as I was slotting in on a German fighter. I guess we'll find out shortly as to what actually happened. Submit my report. Start the debrief. An unrelated Thunderbolt was shot down by an anti-aircraft gun. Pilot became a POW. Our flight lead destroyed an anti-aircraft gun, so that's kind of useful. I was brought down by an anti-aircraft gun and seriously wounded, but it doesn't say prisoner of war. I suppose Cologne is basically right on the front lines at this point in the war, at least if this map is to be believed, although I don't think that's quite the same as the one we saw in the mission. It's possible that one was a little bit out of date, but I'm trying to remember off the top of my head when the Battle for Cologne happened. I think it was March 1945, so... Yeah, I guess it's possible I was able to slither to friendly lines. It's also possible if I was seriously wounded that the war might be over by the time I get back to service. Okay, well, it doesn't say prisoner of war. Flight lead Major Manning was shot down and made a prisoner of war. Yeah, the flak was absolutely murderous over that target. And that was indeed what got me as well, so... Okay. Thunderbolt was shot down by a 109K. That happened in the general vicinity of where things were going down as well. Well, I don't have much to add to that. Debrief completed. Yeah, so lead was captured. I was seriously wounded, but presumably not captured. Edit narrative. Black was murderous over the target. Lead went down as well. I think I have much to add to that. So, yeah. Major Manning missing in action, and POW, obviously. Yeah, none of that is really new to us. But, let's see. I'm wounded, as is indicated here. I'm trying to remember the exact mechanics for... Yeah, okay, so... Requires 30 days to recover from wounds, and I'm pretty sure that takes us to the end of the campaign, unless the PWCG one goes a little bit longer, so I'll request the minimum. And see what that does for us. Request for leave. And whilst I was on leave, we had a pilot seriously injured. Yeah, there is. Things in combat. Received some new pilots. Victor Simpson has received the Purple Heart. Where's mine? Presume I should get one. Okay, so 10th April 1945 seems to be when I'm returning to service, by which time the squadron has moved to a new airfield at Merzhausen. Where is that? Not entirely sure. Oh, here. Okay. So where the 50th Fighter Group is stationed, so north of Frankfurt here. Okay, well, yeah, the lines have moved a long way east. Battle for Cologne is over, the assault crossing of the Rhine is over, and we're advancing into Germany. We're pretty close to the east end of the map, so I don't think the career's over, though, so we should have at least a few more missions to go. Okay, interesting. So yeah, I guess the PWCG campaign goes on a little longer, because the stock one in IL-2 only goes until the end of March 1945. But yeah, so that is the situation as far as I can tell. Let's check. What happens if I try to do a mission? It doesn't tell me that the war's over or anything, does it? Nope. Okay, so we genuinely will be flying our next mission on... April 10th, 1945. I will be back with that reasonably soon. Toodles.